if you know this about me, but I'm actually a huge nerd. I grew up with parents who made me watch documentaries like all the time, especially historical documentaries about like the UK, the Celts, the Romans, the Greeks, and all of that sort of thing. So when I read the synopsis for a book that was offered to me as an art copy by the author, I knew I was strapped in and ready for a good time. And that book is The Edge of Empire by Australian author Dana Birkmour, who I am so blessed and honoured that she offered me an art copy of this book. So, what's it about and why it's so good? Lock in or just go get it. Don't worry about the review, just go get it. So, one of the reasons I love this book so much is Dana Birkmour's writing style. It is extremely immersive. I was put into this world and I believed it. So I love a good fantasy book where the magic is just kind of around the corner. And I think that's what I loved about the world she built, because she based it with the Celts and the Romans. There's this historical like truth to it, I guess, in my opinion. And then she has her own magic system within that. And that just I just love books like, because it immerses you in the historical, the spiritual, and the cultural world of the Celts and the Romans. And there's just enough aspect of this truth to that history that it makes the magic and the world building just so much more magical and so much more invested in the story. And I just love that so much. And look, if you are not someone who was forced fed documentaries like I was as a kid, you will still have a good time with this book. There is a glossary at the front and there's so many context clues within the text that you will go on this magical journey with the main characters. This is a historical fantasy romance and I just ate it up because the world building is fantastic. The spiritual magical system is fantastic. And the characters are you're just so invested in their story and their journey, especially the FMC, where she starts to where she ends, her growth over the book. If you love a strong FMC, this one's definitely for you. I want to tell you what the story's about, and I'm probably not going to pronounce any of the names properly because it's a fantasy story and this is what happens. So I'll do my best. So the story follows Lucia, who is studying the goddess Fortuna in Rome, but she and her slave Carmen need to leave Rome to reunite with her father and meet the fiancé who she's never met before on the edge of the empire. And I just love it when a book has the title in it. And that happens here. So 100% extra brownie points for that because it's one of my favorite little Easter eggs in books. When Lucia actually gets to the outpost, she discovers there's a lot more going on than just territorial religious stuff. And one of the characters we get to meet is the MMC, which is Carwin. And there's so much I want to tell you, but I can't because I don't want to give anything away. But trust me, you're going to want to get to know him too, okay? And you do. You get to know a lot about him, and that is the best part. So for me, I particularly loved the spiritual and magical aspects to the story, as well as the FMC and the MMC. But if you're someone who's not into history, I think you'll still enjoy the book because there is a glossary at the front and there are a whole bunch of context clues within the text. So if you weren't raised on documentaries like me, I still think that the way Dana Birkmour writes and the way she has added things to the text means you will understand what's going on and you'll be able to visualize and build the world in your head as you're reading. And there were multiple times where I forgot I was reading an arc and then something really brilliant would happen or a character would say something and I'd be like, this hasn't been traditionally published. This isn't even haven't been published yet. It is out now, so you can get it. But at the time I was like, more people need to read this. So I know history or the Celts and the Romans may not be your thing, but the world building, the magic system, the characters, all of that is just going to make you love it. So it's a historical fantasy romance and I highly recommend it. The pacing for this debut novel was just fantastic. It had me hooked from beginning to end. So many times I started like going, oh, just one more chapter. And spoiler alert, it was never just one more chapter. I need more people to read this and understand how good it is. I need it. I just need to. So thank you to Dana Birkmour for gifting me this ARC copy. I just love it so much. Please go out and support Australian authors. You won't regret reading The Edge of Empire.